In the beginning of the drama, we see an elderly poetry writing activity is being held for a group of older people. And here we meet Jin Kyouong, a woman in her 70s, sitting quietly and thinking about her mother. Then the story slowly moves into the past. Her mother was a strong and fierce haenyeo, a female deep-sea diver who spent her whole life working in the ocean. She had lost her first husband to illness and later remarried. Jin Kyouong lives with her father's family because they are a little better off and can afford to send her to school. But she always tells her mother that she wants to live with her instead because her father's family does not treat her kindly. One day, Jin Kyouong comes second in a poetry competition, but her mother is so busy working that she misses the whole event. Jin Kyouong has no choice but to return to her uncle's house, where she has to do chores and help around the home. Later, her mother reads Jin Kyouong's poem. In the poem, Jin Kyouong writes that one day she will buy her mother 100 bowls of rice, so she never has to work so hard again. Those words touch her mother's heart deeply. She immediately goes to the uncle's house, creates a scene, throws down a pile of fish, and takes Jin Kyouong back home with her. Now that they are living together, Jin Kyouong gets upset when she is not made class president even though she actually won. The position is secretly given to the son of a rich man instead. Her mother walks straight into the school and bribes the teacher so Jin Kyouong will be treated fairly. Then, when she gets home, she throws away all the cigarettes in the house because Jin Kyouong once promised that she would buy her a pearl necklace one day, and now her mother wants to live long enough to receive it. The year is 1961, and Jin Kyouong's world completely falls apart when her mother becomes sick. After spending years diving in cold ocean water, her body can no longer handle it. While Jin Kyouong sits there feeling scared and heartbroken, a quiet boy named Seo-jun stays close to her. He does not say anything dramatic. He just quietly keeps showing up, bringing her food and making sure she is okay. One evening, Jin Kyung's mother feeds her abalone. Before leaving, she tells her never to become a servant in her stepfather's house. She tells her that after she dies, she should return to her uncle's home. A few days later, she passes away. And during all of that painful time, Seo-jun never leaves Jin Kyung's side. After the funeral, Jin Kyung's stepfather stops her and asks her to help him. One day, she notices a small piece of unused land. With Seo-jun's help and the support of the local women, she turns it into a cabbage farm. Seo-jun keeps bringing her food. He keeps checking on her. He is always there for her. After that, Jin Kyouong decides that she needs to continue studying because taking care of the house is ruining her education. Her stepfather makes a promise to her. He says that if she stays and helps with the family, he will send her to the mainland one day so she can study Korean literature. So Jin Kyouong sits in the market selling cabbage with a book in her hand. But in reality, it is Seo-jun who does most of the selling for her. As time passes, Seo-jun's grandmother comes and scolds Jin Kyouong because the women in the neighborhood have been teasing them and calling them a couple. Jin Kyouong immediately runs away, shouting that she is not interested at all and that she would never marry Seo-jun. But Seo-jun quickly runs after her. As they walk together, we learn something important. Seo-jun's parents had run away together before getting married. That is exactly why his grandmother is so strict about the two of them being seen together in public. While they walk, Jin Kyouong keeps repeating that she will never marry him. Seo-jun gets slightly annoyed and suddenly tries to kiss her, but completely misses. In that small, awkward moment, we realize that both of them actually like each other. Then Seo-jun awkwardly confesses his feelings in his own clumsy way. They share a small and cute kiss. After that, they quietly keep walking together. In another flash forward, we see Jin Kyouong as an adult surrounded by her children. And then we realize that the whole story is actually being told by her daughter, Jiamai. Back in the past, Jin Kyouong returns home and finds her stepfather secretly meeting another woman. That night, she hears them talking. The woman, Namanok, says that she does not want to deal with Jin Kyouong and that the only option is to send her away. Because of that, Jin Kyouong goes back to her uncle's house. Her uncle tells her to forget about college and get a factory job because the family's financial situation is very bad. The next morning, Jin Kyouong leaves her stepfather's house for good, but then she finds out that he has no money saved for her at all. For years, he had been promising that he would pay for her education in return for her helping raise his children. But in the end, there is nothing saved for her. Nothing was ever waiting for her. Jin Kyouong goes to Seo-jun and breaks down crying. He holds her close and tries to comfort her. Then he gives her one solution: marriage. But that is not the life Jin Kyouong wants. Her dream has always been to marry a boy from the mainland, leave behind Jeju, and finally live the life she has always imagined. That night, both of them secretly take jewelry from their homes, pack their bags, and head toward a ship. They try to dress older than they really are. When the captain becomes suspicious and thinks they are runaways, Jin Kyouong quickly lies and introduces them as a married couple. After that, no one questions them anymore, and they successfully make it to Busousan. In Busousan, they try to sell the jewelry. The shop owner immediately realizes something is strange, but does not say much. Later, when they look for a place to stay, they tell another lie. They pretend to be newlyweds who lost their wallet and ID cards. The inn owners feel sorry for them and give them a room along with free food. But the next morning, they wake up and realize that all their money and belongings are gone. The inn owners pretend they know nothing about it. Then they threaten to call the police if Jin Kyouong and Seo Jun do not leave right away. Standing outside with nothing left, Jin Kyouong completely breaks down. Then she suddenly remembers the story of Hansel and Gretel and how they tricked the witch. That gives her an idea. That night, she and Seo Jun watch the inn owners trying to scam another guest. When the woman goes into her room, Jin Kyouong quietly warns her to leave the light on. Because of that, the owners realize they will not be able to rob her that night, so they go to sleep instead. Then Jin Kyouong and Seo Jun sneak around and try to get their money back. Everything is going fine until Jin Kyouong notices the inn owner's daughter wearing the hair clip Seo Jun once gave her. She tries to take it back, but the whole family wakes up. They immediately start running. Jin Kyouong gets caught, and Seo Jun throws himself at everyone trying to hold her down. He fights desperately to free her. After that, they both end up at a police station. There, they find out that Seo Jun's mother has come all the way to Busousan and has been searching every police station for them. She demands the golden frog Seo Jun stole from home because it is a valuable family heirloom. At the same time, the woman who robbed them had already pawned all their jewelry, including the golden frog. When it becomes time to get the money back, Seo Jun's mother is already waiting at the scammer's house. A huge fight breaks out. Then the police arrive and arrest the woman. It turns out she has a long history of fraud. After everything settles down, Seo Jun, Jin Kyouong, and his mother all return to Jeju. Back home, Seo Jun finds out that he has only been suspended from school, but Jin Kyouong has been permanently expelled. Later, Seo Jun goes to Jin Kyung's grandmother, and she tells him a painful truth. When a boy runs away, people call him brave, but when a girl runs away, people shame her for it. Because of that, Jin Kyouong now has nothing except a middle school diploma. Seo Jun decides that he wants to marry Jin Kyouong. The next day, his mother gently tries to convince Jin Kyouong not to do it. Then, when Seo Jun formally asks Jin Kyung's uncle for permission to marry her, Jin Kyouong refuses. As a result, her uncle arranges a blind date with a 30-year-old man who is searching for a second wife. He wants someone who can take care of his children, and in return, he promises to pay for Jin Kyung's college education. Jin Kyouong feels completely broken. This is exactly the kind of life her mother never wanted for her. She never wanted Jin Kyouong to become somebody's servant. When Seo Jun hears about this marriage, he becomes furious. He argues with Jin Kyung's uncle and grandmother. Then he takes Jin Kyouong aside one last time and begs her not to marry that man. He puts a ring on her finger, but Jin Kyouong immediately takes it off and throws it into a field. She tells him that if he truly wants her to be happy, then he has to let her go because he is standing in the way of her freedom. Seo Jun walks away heartbroken. Later, Jin Kyouong quietly goes back to search for the ring, but she cannot find it anywhere. The next day, she sadly stands there choosing a wedding dress. And on that same day, Seo Jun leaves for the mainland to take part in an athletics competition. Then we learn something important. Seo Jun's mother had already told Jin Kyouong about his talent in sports. She also explained that if Seo Jun married her now, he would lose his future. Because of that, Jin Kyouong lied to him. She pretended she did not love him because she wanted him to follow his dreams. But the truth is that Seo Jun only ever did sports to win medals for her. And now that she is gone, he feels like nothing matters anymore. That is when Jin Kyouong finally realizes something. Since childhood, Seo Jun has always been the one person standing beside her. He has always been her support, her comfort, and her safe place. Finally, she gives in to her feelings and runs toward the harbor. But by the time she reaches it, the ship is already leaving. She screams Seo Jun's name across the water, hoping he can hear her. And somehow, he actually does. He sees her running. Without even thinking twice, he jumps into the water and swims back to shore. The entire village erupts with excitement and cheers. Then the two of them run into each other's arms without caring what anyone else thinks. Back in the present day, Seo-jun's sister tells Jiamaying that she was actually conceived on the very night her parents reunited. Then we see a flashback of young Jin Kyouong and Seo-jun happily playing with baby Jiamaying. Jiamaying explains that her parents gave up their dreams very early in life so they could build a family together. In the end, we also find out that Seo-jun secretly went back to the pawn shop and found Jin Kyouong's ring for her. The story ends with the two of them choosing wedding clothes together and finally getting married. A few years later, Jin Kyouong is shown struggling with difficult in-laws. Later, she helps a woman named Namonok during the birth of her first child. We learn that Namonok married Jin Kyouong's stepfather 10 years after her mother died, and later became the mother of Jin Kyouong's half-siblings. When Jin Kyouong helps her during childbirth, a quiet understanding slowly develops between them. The tension between them finally starts to disappear. Later, Jin Kyouong returns home with gifts for everyone. One of those gifts is a bicycle that Namonok sent for Jiamaying. But when Jin Kyouong happily tells her in-laws about it, Seo-jun's grandmother immediately refuses. She says that girls should not ride bicycles. That night, Seo-jun asks Jin Kyouong how he can help her. Jin Kyouong tells him that she wants Jiamaying to learn how to ride the bicycle because if she misses this chance, she might end up trapped inside a kitchen for the rest of her life, just like Jin Kyouong almost was. She wants her daughter to experience the freedom she herself never had. The next day, Seo-jun goes out and buys a brand new bicycle. It is expensive enough that nobody in the family would dare sell it. And finally, Jiamaying gets her bicycle. Jin Kyouong stands there quietly watching her daughter with a soft smile on her face, feeling happier than ever. The story then moves forward to 1996. Jiamaying is now an adult and is telling the story of her mother's life. She has struggles of her own. She has just started a new job, and one day she goes to meet her fiancé's mother, a woman from a rich and powerful family. The woman quietly insults Jiamaying in small ways because of her poor background. Jiamaying stays calm and listens to everything. But then the woman says that after marriage, Jiamaying will have to quit her job. The moment she hears that, she thinks about everything her mother sacrificed for her, so she firmly says no. Later, she directly tells her fiancé that she does not desperately need marriage in her life. At the same time, Jin Kyouong and Seo-jun are waiting for their second child to be born. When Jin Kyouong finds out that Seo-jun's family wants Jiamaying to become a haenyeo, she becomes furious. She says that Jiamaying is her daughter and she will never become a deep-sea diver. Jin Kyouong reminds everyone that her own mother died because of that dangerous work in the ocean. A huge fight breaks out between Jin Kyouong and her mother-in-law. And just when the argument becomes worse, Seo-jun comes home after finishing his work on the fishing boat. The moment he sees what is happening, he cannot stay silent. He refuses to let his wife and daughter be treated that way. So on that very same day, he takes Jin Kyouong and Jiamaying and leaves the house. The three of them move into a small rented room with a tiny kitchen. A few days later, they suddenly realize that 3 months of rent has already been secretly paid for them, but they do not know who did it. One evening, Seo-jun comes home with a broken finger. Jin Kyouong becomes worried immediately. That night, she notices even more bruises on his body. The next morning, she smiles and sends him off, but secretly, she goes to the house of Sang-gil. Sang-gil is the same man Jin Kyouong was once supposed to marry, and Seo-jun has been working on his boat. When Jin Kyouong speaks to Sang-gil's wife, she finds out the painful truth. Sang-gil has been abusing Seo-jun. Even after Seo-jun broke his finger, Sang-gil refused to turn the boat back. Instead, he forced him to keep working harder. At the same time, we see Sang-gil screaming at Seo-jun again and refusing to let him leave. Just when Sang-gil is about to hit him again, Jin Kyouong walks in. She clearly tells Sang-gil that Seo-jun does not work for him anymore. As they turn around to leave, Sang-gil insults Seo-jun one last time. Jin Kyouong immediately turns back and kicks him hard. Then the story returns to 1996. Jin Kyouong is now helping Seo-jun walk because after working hard for so many years, his leg is no longer strong like before. The scene ends with that emotional image. After that, Jin Kyouong makes sure Seo-jun never has to work for Sang-gil again. But life quickly becomes harder because Sang-gil's family has power on the island, and he secretly stops Seo-jun from finding work anywhere else. Days pass, then weeks, but Seo-jun still cannot find a job. Slowly, the pressure begins to show. There is less food in the house, and Jin Kyouong eventually goes to her landlords to ask for some rice. But they do not really help her. Back in the present, Jin Kyouong walks beside Jiamaying and thinks about everything she has learned in life, especially what people should truly feel ashamed of and what they should not. Then the story goes back to the past. Jin Kyouong swallows her pride and goes to her grandmother to ask for money. But in the end, she leaves without saying anything because her pride will not let her beg. That night, while lying in bed, she finally tells Seo-jun everything she has been feeling. Then, unexpectedly, her grandmother arrives. She brings her savings, her jewelry, and many small things she has collected over the years. Then we learn something very touching. Long ago, Jin Kyung's mother had taken her grandmother to get a photograph together. That day, she asked her grandmother to promise that she would look after Jin Kyouong, just like she once looked after Jin Kyung's father. Jin Kyung's mother believed that maybe her grandmother could ease some of the pain of losing her own child by protecting Jin Kyouong. Jin Kyouong and Seo-jun are deeply moved by this. They promise her grandmother that they will make her proud. With the money she gives them, they buy a boat. While they are happily celebrating, Jin Kyouong suddenly goes into labor. Soon, their second child is born, a baby boy. Now that Jin Kyouong has given birth to a son and helped Seo-jun buy a boat, his family finally starts accepting her. And Jin Kyouong makes sure they feel loved too. Soon after that, Seo-jun surprises her with something special. He buys the house where Jin Kyung's mother once lived with her stepfather. It is the same house Jin Kyouong loved visiting when she was young. For the first time in her life, she finally has a home of her own. While decorating the house together, Jin Kyouong dreams about her mother, almost as if she has come to say goodbye. Later that night, Jin Kyouong suddenly wakes up. Seo-jun is out at sea, so with the help of a neighbor, she rushes to the hospital. There, she gives birth to their third child, another son. Later, Jin Kyouong becomes the deputy leader of the village under Sang-il, who becomes the leader simply because nobody else runs against him. Together, they start helping people and standing against those who take advantage of others. Then one day, during an inspection, Jin Kyouong unexpectedly meets Sang-il's wife and quietly helps her out of a difficult situation. Before leaving, Sang-il's wife bitterly says that she wishes Jin Kyouong had married Sang-il instead. One night, Seo-jun is painting his boat and calls Jin Kyouong over. At first, she hesitates because there is an old superstition that women bring bad luck to boats. But when Jeomyong climbs onto the boat without any fear, Jin Kyouong finally lets go of her own fear too. She steps onto the boat herself. Then she even paints her own name on it. For only the second time in her life, Jin Kyouong finally feels truly happy. And as Seo-jun kisses her on that boat, the moment feels perfect. Later, Jin Kyouong is busy managing the house and taking care of her two small sons when she suddenly sees Jeomyong struggling with her bicycle while a typhoon is coming. Jin Kyouong quickly tells a neighbor to watch the younger boys and runs after Jeomyong. But when she comes back with her daughter, both boys are gone. Seo-jun immediately leaves everything and rushes home. The entire village joins together to search for the children. Eventually, they find the older son, but the younger one is still missing. The search continues until they finally find him near the seawall. He is lying there completely still. Through the narration of their son Jeongyong, we see something heartbreaking. For the first time ever, Seo-jun, who had always been strong and calm for everyone else, completely breaks down. The family mourns for 3 days. Both Jin Kyouong and Seo-jun are completely destroyed by the loss. Then Jin Kyouong remembers something her mother once told her, that in difficult times, people must stay strong. So she forces herself to stand up and walk outside. There, she sees her older son sitting alone and blaming himself for his younger brother's death. At the very same time, Seo-jun realizes that Jeomyong is also secretly blaming herself. And in that one painful moment, both parents make the same decision. Instead of giving up, they choose to keep living for the children they still have. The next morning, Seo-jun returns to work. Meanwhile, Jin Kyouong takes care of the house and works at the fish market. Even though they continue with life, both of them are still carrying deep pain inside their hearts. Slowly, Jin Kyouong begins to hate the sea because, in her mind, it took her child away from her. One day, while walking near the water together as a family, Jin Kyouong tells Seo-jun that she blames herself for what happened. But Seo-jun tells her that nobody in the family is responsible. He says that they have to keep living for the children they still have. Years later, Jin Kyouong discovers that Seo-jun had secretly been blaming himself too. Because he spent his whole life working on the sea, he feels that he should have been able to save his son. We then see a painful flashback of Seo-jun crying alone in silence. After that, Jin Kyouong notices something important. The kitchen is always full of food. Then she realizes that the people around them had been helping all along. Their landlords had secretly been adding rice to their pot every day. Not too much, just enough so the family would not notice. Jin Kyouong remembers that when she had gone to ask for rice before, she had already understood their quiet kindness. Then another hidden truth is revealed. Namonok was the one who secretly paid 3 months of their rent when they first moved into the new house. And during Jin Kyung's pregnancies, The Haenyeo aunties had also been secretly saving abalone and other seafood for her so she could stay healthy. As time passes, Jo-myung successfully passes her exams and gets accepted into a university in Seoul. For Jin Kyouong, this becomes the third time in her life that she feels truly happy. Jin Kyouong and Seo-jun travel with Jo-myung to Seoul. There they meet Park Young-bum. The moment he sees Jo-myung, he is immediately drawn to her, and later he becomes her fiancé. The story ends with Young-bum and Jo-myung sitting together, while Jin Kyouong and Seo-jun quietly walk hand in hand nearby. At one point, Jin Kyouong says that she wants to sell her cabbage field so she can buy Jo-myung a place to live in Seoul. But Seo-jun tells her not to sell it and to keep the field for herself. Later, the Olympics are getting closer. The government decides that the Olympic torch will pass through the sea route, so they order the local fish market sellers to leave the waterfront area. Because of this, many people risk losing their income. The villagers protest, but Sang-il chooses to support the authorities instead of the people he is supposed to represent. Then Jin Kyouong quietly walks into the road and lies down in protest. Her one action completely stops all the work related to the Olympic torch route. As the village election gets closer, Sang-il starts personally attacking Jin Kyouong, because Jin Kyouong is now his political opponent. During this time, we also learn more about Jin Kyouong's sons. Jong-young turns out to be a brilliant student, but her younger son is completely different. His teacher calls Jin Kyouong to school because he has been running small businesses there. He even steals nameplates from teachers' cars and sells the letters from them. Meanwhile, Sang-il continues campaigning in Jeju, but then Jin Kyouong catches him in an embarrassing situation. She finds him secretly getting a foot massage from another woman, while he is supposed to be out campaigning. Jin Kyouong warns him that if he keeps attacking her reputation, she will expose his secrets too. After that, Sang-il decides to leave the election, and because of that, Jin Kyouong becomes the first female village chief. The entire village loves her. Seo-jun, who had been quietly supporting her the entire time, feels happier than anyone else. That night, everybody celebrates together. Later, when Jin Kyouong is alone, she thinks about her mother, and she remembers the day she proudly said that one day she would become president. In Seoul, Jo-myung is secretly tutoring a student, even though it is technically illegal. We also learn that she gave up the chance to study in Japan because of her family's financial situation. One day, the mother of one of her students gives her a shocking offer. She wants Jo-myung to take her daughter's exam for her, and she already has fake documents prepared. Jo-myung is horrified by the idea. At the same time, Seo-jun suddenly comes to Seoul to visit Jo-myung. When he arrives, he discovers that she is not even allowed to stay in the dormitory. While he is waiting for her, Park Young-bum also arrives during a break from his military service. Eventually, Young-bum recognizes Seo-jun, but awkwardly introduces him to everyone as Jo-myung's friend. The episode ends when Jo-myung refuses the cheating request, and the student's mother falsely accuses her of stealing a diamond ring. Because of that accusation, Jo-myung ends up at the police station. Since her tutoring work is illegal, she cannot properly explain where her money came from either. Meanwhile, Seo-jun asks Young-bum about his relationship with Jo-myung. That is when he finds out that they have broken up and gotten back together many times, and Jo-myung has already rejected him 8 times. Seo-jun notices something interesting. Young-bum reminds him of a younger version of himself, and Jo-myung is slowly becoming more and more like Jin Kyouong. At the employer's house, the housekeeper suddenly steps forward. She had already understood from the beginning that Jo-myung was innocent, so she threatens the employer and says that if she does not stop the accusation, she will throw away the real diamond ring. The employer becomes scared and immediately drops the complaint. Then we realize something important. This housekeeper is actually the same woman that Jin Kyouong and Seo-jun once saved from being scammed in Busan many years ago. When she sees Jo-myung's face, she immediately recognizes Jin Kyouong in her, and because of that, she feels like she owes her help. Jo-myung knows none of this. She is terrified that her parents will find out what happened. When she calls home, she discovers that Seo-jun is already on his way to see her because he has just received a governor's award for saving someone from drowning. When they finally sit down to eat together, Jo-myung breaks down and tells her father everything. She tells him about the poverty, the dreams she had to give up, and all the opportunities she lost. She even tells him about how she had to give up studying in Japan. Then, when it is time for Seo-jun to leave, Jo-myung realizes that he changed his whole travel route just so he could spend time with her. After Seo-jun leaves, Jo-myung also says goodbye to Young-bum before he returns to his military base. Then, in a flash forward, we see Jo-myung on her wedding day. She is crying while Seo-jun prepares to walk her down the aisle. Back in Jeju, Jin Kyouong and the Haenyeo aunties attend a youth poetry competition. Without telling Jin Kyouong, one of her friends secretly submits her poem. Later, the teacher who once guided Jo-myung offers to pay for her study trip to Japan. When Jo-myung tells Jin Kyouong about it, a huge argument begins between them. Jin Kyouong needs to know whether Jo-myung truly wants to go or not. Once she realizes how much her daughter wants it, she and Seo-jun make a painful decision. They decide to sell their house so Jo-myung can follow her dream. That night, Jin Kyouong dreams about her mother again. In the dream, her mother comes to say goodbye. She also sees her son who passed away and gets one last chance to say goodbye to him too. After that, the whole family moves to Seoul while Jo-myung leaves for Japan. The moment Jo-myung sees the money her parents saved for her, she starts crying. The episode ends with Jin Kyung's poem winning the competition, but Jin Kyouong is not there to receive the prize. Instead, a student is left wandering around trying to find her. After selling their house, Jin Kyouong, Seo-jun, and On-myung move into a small apartment. Jin Kyouong also takes back the money she invested in the shop she started with the Haenyeo aunties and returns to selling things on the street. Meanwhile, in Japan, Jo-myung sees a photograph and starts crying again because she feels guilty that her dreams cost her parents so much. Back in Seoul, Jo-myung rents a room and helps her landlord's daughter secretly hide her boyfriend inside storage bags. When the landlord finds out, the entire situation becomes chaotic. At the same time, Jin Kyouong also realizes that someone is secretly staying in On-myung's room. At first, she thinks it is just another runaway child. But when she and Seo-jun open the wardrobe, they discover a girl hiding inside. That girl is Han-suk. On-myung introduces her as his girlfriend. Han-suk remembers that when she was little, her mother once pointed at Seo-jun and said that she should marry a man like him one day. And from that moment, Han-suk became interested in On-myung. In Seoul, Jo-myung still struggles to find work even after studying in Japan. Then one day she meets Chung-sup. He is the same man whose girlfriend's father she once helped hide. Chung-sup works as an artist at a theater, but he is constantly getting scolded because his posters do not sell enough tickets. Even so, the theater owner keeps him around. Chung-sup helps Jo-myung get a job at the ticket counter. One day, Yongbom comes to see Jo-myung at the theater. Chung-sup quietly watches them from far away. Later, after work, Yongbom tells Jo-myung that she should move away from her poor neighborhood. His words hurt her deeply. She immediately tells him that if it bothers him that much, then he should leave instead. Chung-sup overhears the conversation while passing by, and a small smile appears on his face. The next time Jo-myung visits Chung-sup's office with lunch, she sees his paintings. Just then, Chung-sup walks in with his girlfriend. The girlfriend immediately starts criticizing him for not earning enough money as an artist. Then both of them notice Jo-myung standing quietly behind them, and everything suddenly becomes very awkward. Meanwhile, back in Jeju, Sang-ul continues causing problems. His son becomes angry when he finds out that Han-suk is dating On-myung because there is too much painful history between their families. But Han-suk has already made up her mind. She decides that no matter what happens, she will stay with On-myung. Because of pressure from his brothers, On-myung tries to break up with her, but neither of them can stay away from the other. From a distance, the Haenyeo aunties watch their dramatic romance and laugh. Back in Seoul, Jo-myung runs into Yongbom's mother again. This time, she is even colder and harsher, because she had found Jo-myung at Yongbom's apartment on his birthday. Later, while sitting in Yongbom's car, Jo-myung suddenly bursts into tears. She asks him why people make her feel worthless when she is just as capable as everyone else. She feels completely heartbroken. The next day at work, Jo-myung notices a woman secretly reselling theater tickets. At first, she thinks the woman is doing something wrong, but after watching her for a while, she realizes that the woman truly loves theater and art. Jo-myung quietly follows her and later finds out that she is Chung-sup's mother. Feeling touched, Jo-myung gives her a ticket to a show. The theater owner overhears them talking and learns that Chung-sup has loved drawing ever since he was a child. Even though he usually looks strict, he turns out to be much kinder than people think and gives them extra tickets as well. Later, because of Jo-myung, Chung-sup's mother gets to watch her very first movie. After that, the three of them go back to her small shop together. There, she happily gives Jo-myung a whole bag full of English books. Chung-sup carries the books upstairs to Jo-myung's room. And that evening, the three of them eat together at a late-night tent restaurant. Meanwhile, back in Jeju, Jin Kyouong and her uncle's family gather together for an ancestral ceremony. This brings back an old memory from Jin Kyouong's childhood. When she was little, a strange woman at a bus stop tricked her into running back and forth to exchange change. The woman was actually trying to lure her toward a truck where a man was waiting. But just before anything could happen, Jin Kyouong's mother suddenly appeared and saved her. Her mother told her, "I have eyes in the back of my head. That's what it means to be a mother." After that, her mother found that woman again, and together with the whole village, taught both her and her partner a lesson they would never forget. That night, both Jin Kyouong and Jo-myung have the same terrible nightmare, the typhoon that took away their youngest child and brother. The next morning, Jin Kyouong rushes to Seoul and finds Jo-myung lying unconscious on the floor of her room. There is a hole in the wall, and she has suffered carbon monoxide poisoning. Jin Kyouong immediately calls an ambulance and informs the landlord's family. Chung-sup is already there, and without hesitation, he lifts Jo-myung into his arms and carries her downstairs until the emergency team arrives. At the hospital, Jin Kyouong and Chung-sup wait together anxiously. Thankfully, Jeom-young survives. Soon after, Yongbom arrives at the hospital completely panicked and worried about her. As Jin Kyouong watches him, she suddenly feels something familiar. Yongbom reminds her so much of Seo-jun when he was younger, but at the same time, she also realizes something else. Yongbom's mother has hurt Jeom-young before, and she still has not fully accepted her. Meanwhile, On-myung discovers a surprisingly funny secret about Sang-gil and his mother's past. After that, he leaves for his mandatory military service. Chung-sup joins the army too. Since he is already 29 years old, he is older than most of the others there. Before leaving, he gives Jeom-young a portrait he painted of her. There is still a quiet warmth between them. They know each other's most embarrassing moments, so things never become too serious between them. Later, Jeom-young and Yongbom's families meet together for a meal. During the dinner, Jeom-young's parents watch Yongbom's family make her serve everyone and wait on them. They cannot hide how uncomfortable it makes them feel. Finally, Jin Kyouong steps forward and says honestly that she never taught Jeom-young to do housework because she is her most beloved daughter. After her parents leave, Jeom-young notices that her mother had been crying. Later, she asks her future mother-in-law to treat her parents with more respect because she cannot bear seeing them get hurt. After that, Jin Kyouong, Jeom-young, and Yongbom's mother go shopping for hanbok for the wedding. Yongbom's mother tells Jin Kyouong to wear a dull brown hanbok instead of the pink one she chose for herself. Then she coldly tells Jin Kyouong to break off the engagement because there is a class difference between their families. Jin Kyouong never tells Jeom-young that this conversation happened, but after that day, she quietly tells her daughter to end the relationship. Later, after Jeom-young moves into Yongbom's place, his mother comes there and accuses Jeom-young of trapping her son. That becomes the final breaking point. Jeom-young ends the engagement herself and tells Yongbom, "It is your mother who ruined my life." Years later, Yongbom is married to someone else, but he is unhappy. His mother is now tired and frustrated because of her own daughter-in-law. Meanwhile, Jeom-young rides home alone in a taxi. And after many painful months, the breakup finally becomes complete. After the breakup, Jin Kyouong keeps trying to contact Jeom-young again and again, but Jeom-young is too heartbroken to answer her calls. There is an emotional flashback showing how, when she was younger, Jeom-young used to share everything with her mother. Then one day, Jeom-young finally comes home. Her parents welcome her with everything they have. More food, more love, and more care than ever before. The next morning, Seo-jun takes her out on the boat to watch the sunrise. As Jeom-young sees her father working hard every single day, only for her and On-myung, she starts crying. At that moment, she feels both grief and gratitude together. On their way back, Sang-gil sees the two of them together and feels jealous in a way he cannot explain. He tries to create the same kind of closeness by taking Han-suk to watch the sunrise too. But because he has been a distant father for so long, Han-suk has no interest in spending time with him. Later, it is revealed that Jin Kyouong never sent out the wedding invitation. Because of that, nobody in town even knows that the engagement has ended. Without Jeom-young realizing it, Jin Kyouong had quietly been protecting her all this time. The next day, Jeom-young gives her parents gifts. She gives Jin Kyouong a notebook so she can write poems. And she gives Seo-jun hand cream for his rough and worn hands. She tells them that she feels stronger now after coming home. Then she returns to her apartment and begins cleaning. Later, Seo-jun's sister comes by to sell some things. It is revealed that she has also been trapped in an abusive relationship. Jin Kyouong kindly buys what she needs from her and warmly tells her to come back anytime. After that, Jin Kyouong goes to visit her grandmother, who is now struggling with memory problems. But the moment Jin Kyouong enters, her grandmother recognizes her right away. In that quiet moment, her grandmother can feel the hidden sadness Jin Kyouong still carries for the child she lost. The two of them hold each other tightly, sharing that pain without saying a word. That night, Jin Kyouong dreams that her grandmother meets her mother. In the dream, her mother says that their duty toward Jin Kyouong has finally been fulfilled. The next morning, her grandmother peacefully passes away. After that, Jin Kyouong thinks about the cycle of life and all the people she has lost. Her grandmother, Seo-jun's grandparents and father, one of the Henyo and their little boy. Then comes the biggest surprise. The family is happily waiting to welcome On-myung back from military service. But when he arrives, Han-suk is standing beside him, and she is very clearly pregnant. Meanwhile, in Seoul, Jeom-young gets on a bus. At the same bus stop, Chung-sup gets off another one. He sees her immediately and starts running after her. But before he can reach her, the bus pulls away and she disappears again. In 1998, a wedding car drives through the streets. Jeom-young steps out of the car, dressed beautifully for the wedding. Yongbom is also there at the venue. The moment he sees her, memories come rushing back to him. He remembers the first time he ever saw her, the times they laughed together, the day she tried to break up with him and he kissed her to stop her, the day he returned to the theater after such a long time, the moment she cried when he left for military training. Now he stands far away, watching her smile brightly as she glows with happiness. Without even going inside, he quietly gets back into his car and drives away. 1 year earlier, Onmyoung and Hansuk's first baby is born. The family celebrates warmly, but Onmyoung still does not have a stable job. When Seo-jun questions him about wasting money, Onmyoung says he wants to give his son everything his parents could never give him. He says he has a business idea with his friend Chol-young. Seo-jun immediately tells him to stay away from that friend and come fishing with him instead so he can earn honest money. But Onmyoung refuses completely. He says he never wants to become like his father, the kind of man who takes 4 people to a restaurant and only orders enough food for 3. He says he wants to become the kind of man who takes 3 people to a restaurant and orders enough food for 6. Seo-jun is deeply hurt by those words. Onmyoung storms outside to smoke. Jin Kyouong follows him and scolds him for speaking to his father that way. But Onmyoung only says, "Bitterness creates more bitterness." At that moment, Hansuk's mother is sitting outside in her car. She could not stay away from her daughter and grandchild. Jin Kyouong notices her and goes to sit with her. She gently tells her that even though Onmyoung does not have a steady income yet, he will still take good care of Hansuk and the baby. Hansuk's mother says that she was never really angry with them. In fact, she admits that she was always a little jealous of Jin Kyouong, ever since that sports day years ago, when Seo-jun had been fanning Jin Kyouong while she managed everything alone. Jin Kyouong warmly tells her that she can come see her daughter and grandchild whenever she wants. Then the financial crisis hits Korea. The entire country is struggling, and people fear bankruptcy. Jo-myung loses her job. She sits alone at a bus stop with all her belongings beside her. After that, she spends her days traveling from place to place, going to interview after interview, but nobody hires her. She sees people protesting because they cannot find jobs. She even sees the toothpaste salesman who had been sitting at the same bus stop as her on the day she lost her job. One day, she walks past the theater where she used to work. Before it closes down, she goes inside one last time to watch a movie. At the same time, sitting in the row behind her is Cheong-sup. He looks completely different now. Neither of them realizes the other is there. When Jo-myung leaves, the theater owner asks Cheong-sup why he did not stop her. Afraid of losing her again, Cheong-sup suddenly runs out. He chases the bus through the streets for a long time. Finally, he manages to get on board. Inside, he finds Jo-myung asleep. He quietly waits for her to wake up. When she opens her eyes and sees his face right in front of her, she thinks she is dreaming. The two of them go to a restaurant together and talk for hours. They are both so happy to see each other again. Cheong-sup tells her that he is now working as an art instructor at an academy. Jo-myung says it must be a coincidence that both of them went to the theater on the same day. But Cheong-sup tells her it was not a coincidence at all. He says he went there every day because he missed her. As they sit drinking beer together, Jo-myung accidentally drops her glass and it shatters. Cheong-sup immediately reaches for the broken pieces so she will not get hurt. Then he gently takes her hand to check if she has any cuts. He tells her that his heart is beating fast. Jo-myung laughs, and just like that, they finally start dating properly. Not like confused teenagers anymore, but like 2 adults who truly know who they are. Later, Cheong-sup takes Jo-myung to his academy and starts sketching her portrait. Jo-myung immediately begins posing dramatically like a movie heroine. Cheong-sup laughs and tells her that she cannot pose like that. She argues that in the movies, those poses always looked good. Then they kiss. But in the middle of the kiss, Cheong-sup suddenly starts laughing. Jo-myung smiles and tells him, "There are many people who can kiss you, but there are very few people who can make you laugh." Later, Jo-myung asks him if he wants to eat real abalone. He says yes, so she takes him to meet her father. The 3 of them go fishing together. Cheong-sup gets terribly seasick almost the entire time. Seo-jun keeps catching small fish and throwing them back into the water. Cheong-sup says it is kind of him to let them go, but Jo-myung laughs and explains that those are only bait fish, and Seo-jun is using them to attract bigger fish. At one point, Jo-myung gets up to go to the bathroom. Cheong-sup immediately tries to follow her, but Seo-jun stops him and quietly says that if he wants this boat ride, he will have to pay for it. Later, the family meets Cheong-sup at the Hanyo Auntie's restaurant. Everyone sits quietly. Finally, Seo-jun asks him why he is not trying harder to impress them. Cheong-sup honestly says that they have probably already decided they would never give their daughter to someone like him, so no amount of talking will change their minds. Seo-jun is quietly surprised by his honesty. Later, the Hanyo Aunties ask Jin Kyouong what she thought about him. She says that she really liked his family. When Jo-myung goes to the bathroom again and Cheong-sup tries to follow her once more, Seo-jun stops him. This time, he tells him that it is cold outside, then takes his own coat to give to Jo-myung himself. When Onmyoung starts criticizing Cheong-sup, Seo-jun suddenly tells him to stop. He says, "Do not speak badly about him. He is going to become her husband." Seo-jun never says things directly, but by then, Cheong-sup had already earned his quiet approval. Later, on the boat, Seo-jun tells Cheong-sup that he is taking away his daughter's heart. Cheong-sup replies honestly, "She needs me. I will always be there for her." Outside the restaurant, Jo-myung tells Cheong-sup that he should try harder to impress her father, but Cheong-sup says that he cannot pretend to be someone he is not. Jo-myung tells him that she is her father's daughter, and if her father rejects him, then they are over. After that, Cheong-sup starts awkwardly trying to impress Seo-jun. Jin Kyouong watches everything and says that he truly loves Jo-myung. And the best thing is that Cheong-sup's mother loves Jo-myung too. Jin Kyouong is preparing a health gift for Cheong-sup's mother. Then there is a flashback to the night before. Cheong-sup had stayed over at their house and slept in the living room, while Seo-jun kept checking on him every hour to make sure he did not sneak into Jo-myung's room. When Jin Kyouong opens the gift from Cheong-sup's mother, she finds a letter inside. The letter says that the cookies are made from persimmons from her hometown. She also writes that she loves Jo-myung and thinks of her like her own daughter. After that, the story jumps to the wedding day. Jo-myung sits in the car with her family as they head toward the ceremony. Everyone is emotional. She tells her mother not to cry and to just be happy today. Even her younger brother suddenly starts crying. When they arrive at the church, even the old landlords from years ago are there to bless Jo-myung on her wedding day. From a parked car nearby, Yongbam watches everything quietly from a distance. He tells himself that he should never have come. Then he drives away. When Jo-myung and Cheong-sup see each other, they both smile with complete happiness. Seo-jun watches his daughter and can barely hold back his tears. Finally, it is time for Jo-myung to walk down the aisle. She tells her father not to cry. Seo-jun tells her that if she is ever unhappy, she can always come back home. The moment she hears that, she completely breaks down. She remembers all the other times he told her the exact same thing. On her first day of school, on her first day of university, at every new beginning in her life. Always the same words. If it does not feel right, come home. Crying, she walks down the aisle beside him. When they reach the front, Seo-jun places her hand into Cheong-sup's hand. Then Seo-jun, who cries even more than Jin Kyouong that day, pulls Cheong-sup into a tight hug. After the wedding, when they return home, angry visitors are already waiting outside. They are looking for An-myung because of his business partner, Chol-young. Soon, An-myung ends up in jail because Chol-young ran away with all the money. While sitting in jail, An-myung's old anger finally comes out. He says he always felt like Jo-myung was more important than him and that his parents always took things away from him. He says that his obsession with money was never really about greed. It was about wanting control over his own life. Han-suk goes to Sang-gil and asks him for money to bail An-myung out, but Sang-gil refuses. So Jin Kyouong decides to handle things herself. She goes to the house of Chol-young's mother. There, she sees a brand new television. It becomes obvious where the stolen money went. The two women stand facing each other in a tense moment. Then Jin Kyouong takes the television and walks away with it. Meanwhile, Seo-jun tries borrowing money from other people, but no one helps him. In the end, he has no choice but to sell his boat. Once again, the family falls into financial hardship, and Jin Kyouong returns to the market, cutting squid by hand. Han-suk is struggling too. She tells Seo-jun that An-myung has started selling rice cakes door to door, even though he hates doing it. At the same time, Sang-gil's mother gives his wife, Yong-ran, a piece of tangerine farmland. For the first time in a long while, it feels like their family might finally get a fresh start. The next day, An-myung is out on a deep-sea fishing boat. Seo-jun and Sang-gil work together to bring him back home. An-myung admits that he already knew Seo-jun had secretly been paying people to buy rice cakes from him, but even after finding out, he still kept trying. When Jin Kyouong arrives in tears, both of his parents bring him home. As the year 2000 gets closer, Jin Kyouong starts feeling like something is finally changing. For the first time in years, it feels like their luck is turning around. Jo-myung starts a new business. Yong-ran passes her real estate license exam. Jin Kyouong begins writing poetry again, bringing back a dream she had almost forgotten. And Seo-jun makes a bold decision that leaves everyone nervous, but also hopeful. Jo-myung later arrives at her parents' house with shocking news. She says that she quit her job and invested all of her money into a startup company. Jin Kyouong immediately becomes furious. A huge argument breaks out, bringing back all the pain and fear from the family's years of financial struggle. In the middle of all this, Seo-jun makes the first real gamble of his life. He buys a shop in an empty area that people say will soon be redeveloped with a new golf course nearby. Meanwhile, Yong-ran finally decides to divorce Sang-gil. The two of them separate. For the first time in his life, Sang-gil slowly starts realizing what kind of person he has been. Then everything becomes even worse. An-myung finds out that the family may have been lied to about the golf development project. They even put their house up as collateral, and now they could lose everything. Jo-myung comes back home with borrowed money to save the house. Another argument starts because everyone has always expected her to fix every problem. This time, An-myung steps in and stops the fight. After Jo-myung leaves, the family finds out that she was already pregnant. All this time, she had secretly been saving every bit of money she could. She moved into a cheaper apartment, reduced all of her expenses, kept building her business, and prepared for her baby all at once. Later, Jeomyoung goes into labor, but serious complications happen during the delivery, putting both her and the baby in danger. Cheong-sup immediately calls her parents. Jeomyoung loses consciousness for a while. Thankfully, both she and the baby survive. The moment her parents arrive, they stay by her side. After that, the whole family throws themselves into running their new restaurant. Jin Kyouong negotiates for squid supplies, Seo-jun and An-myung handle deliveries. Very quickly, the restaurant becomes successful. Then they hear that the friend who cheated An-myung has finally been arrested. One of the reasons it happened is because a celebrity started recommending their restaurant. It turns out that many years ago, Seo-jun once saved her from suicide. Since then, she had kept coming back to repay his kindness. Later, at Sangul's daughter's wedding, Youngran learns that Sangul secretly played a big role in getting An-myung's business partner arrested. For the first time in a long while, some of her anger toward him begins to soften. In the end, even Sangul joins the family, as they all gather together for another morning at the restaurant. Later, Jin Kyouong visits Jeomyoung and her baby granddaughter. She notices that Jeomyoung is only watching the baby from below the balcony, instead of holding her closely. That hurts Jin Kyouong a little. When the baby falls asleep, Jin Kyouong carefully trims her tiny nails and quietly says, "My daughter is my whole world." She cooks food for them, cleans the bathroom, and takes care of everything. Jeomyoung does not know how to thank her. Instead, she says, "This is exactly why I do not invite you over." Then the two of them sit together and eat. Jeomyoung asks her mother how she managed to raise 3 children when she was still so young. Jin Kyouong tells her not to bury her own dreams and desires. She tells her to do what she truly wants to do. Jeomyoung says she feels like a bad mother because she sometimes yells at her baby, but Jin Kyouong comforts her and says that every mother makes mistakes at first. She says that mothers and children grow up together. Later, Jeomyoung takes her parents for a medical checkup. Seo-jun insists that only his blood pressure needs to be checked, but Jeomyoung says he needs a full examination because his knees have been hurting for a long time. At one point, Seo-jun gets a phone call and says he cannot go somewhere that day. Jin Kyouong tells Jeomyoung that now that they finally have some money, Seo-jun has started learning how to play the guitar. Later, after receiving medication, Seo-jun briefly loses consciousness. While half asleep, he keeps repeating the name of their youngest son. That is when Jin Kyouong realizes how deeply he has carried that pain all these years. She tells Jeomyoung about it. Later, the two of them find Seo-jun standing at their son's grave. He came the day before his son's birthday and brought his favorite toys. Jin Kyouong had also come with all of his favorite foods. There are emotional flashbacks showing Jin Kyouong visiting that grave in every season, taking care of it the same way she would take care of a child. Seo-jun sees all of it. Jin Kyouong quietly says that one day, they will finally be able to hold their son again. But Seo-jun says he never wants that day to come. He says he misses his son every single day. But what hurts him even more is thinking that somewhere out there, their son might also be missing them. Then he says something heartbreaking. He says, "I hope he already forgot us. That would be easier for him." Later, An-myung's son steals money from his father so he can buy a hairband for a girl. An-myung scolds him, but then says he understands because he dyed his hair to impress her. Seo-jun hears this and starts laughing. He says that boy is exactly like his father. Jin Kyouong immediately gives him a sharp look. After that, Jeomyoung appears on television. A TV presenter introduces her as the CEO of a company called Everstudy. She talks about her idea for a recorder system for self-study courses. Then she speaks about her parents. She says she could not go very far earlier in life, but she learned her hard work and determination from her father. An-myung cries while watching her on TV. Later, the news also shows the Haenyeo Women's Museum. At the market, An-myung catches his son causing trouble again. Seo-jun laughs and says once more that the boy is exactly like his father. Then Jin Kyouong comes in and says that she has finally kept a promise. She brings out the book she wrote. Its title is Positive Thinking. When Seo-jun reads it, he realizes that every single line in the book was written for him. He immediately tells everyone to go buy 100 copies and give them to the whole village. That night, Jin Kyouong and Seo-jun lie beside each other. Jin Kyouong says she wishes they had a little more time together. Seo-jun says that for years he was afraid he would never be able to keep his promises. But now that her poetry book has been published, he finally feels at peace. Jin Kyouong tells him that he gave her a beautiful life. Then Seo-jun asks her to promise him one thing. When the time comes for him to leave, she must not cry. But Jin Kyouong holds his hand and cries anyway. She asks him to pat her back, and as he does, memories flash through her mind. The day her mother died, the day they ran away together to Busan, the times her in-laws hurt her, every difficult moment in her life. She always believed her life had been hard, but in the end, her life was golden because Seo-jun had always been there. Later, the family walks Seo-jun to the ICU. Jin Kyouong tries her best not to cry. Inside, both of them see each other the way they were when they were young. Jin Kyouong tells him that she was truly happy with him. She says he protected her from every hardship in life. Then Seo-jun quietly takes his final breath and peacefully passes away. Before leaving, he prepared something for everyone. For Jo-myung, he left a savings account containing all the money she had sent home over the years, money he never touched. For On-myung, he left a Mercedes-Benz, but the one who suffers the most after his death is Jin Kyouong. She keeps every hair clip Seo-jun bought for her over 50 years. Now she sees him everywhere, at the dining table, at the front door, in every corner of the house. Her poetry book slowly becomes full, and eventually, she returns home to Jeju. In the final part of the story, everything becomes calm and warm. The publisher who reads Jin Kyung's book says she cried while reading it. That woman even looks exactly like Jin Kyung's mother. She says, "This girl's mother must be so proud." Jo-myung buys Jin Kyung's old house for her. She tells her mother to stop staying at the nursing home, but Jin Kyouong says she loves being there because every stage of her life comes back to her there. And now, for the first time, she is truly happy because she finally wrote down her whole life and those words were published. The nursing home poetry group keeps writing together, and finally it is revealed that the elderly woman who was remembering her mother at the very beginning of the story was actually Jin Kyouong herself. Her mother, her love, her life, to her all of it was gold.